Hey Jaguars, happy snow day or snow morning if your yard looks anything like mine. It was nice to go out this morning to wake up with the beautiful white snow on our grass and on our cars, and then to kind of see it melt this afternoon. So I hope that you were able to play in the snow this morning if that's what you wanted to do, and I hope that everybody has been able to stay warm today. So what we're going to do is I want to spend just a few minutes with you just kind of touching base about some week 4 midweek highlights. There's been a couple of pieces that I want to reflect with you on, and then there's also a couple of pieces of clarifying information that I would like to provide to you as we continue to move forward. So remember that week 4 is designed for you to be working on your Unit 1 assessment. Okay, this week you didn't have any additional readings, you didn't have any inquisitive assignments, you didn't have any discussion boards. The only thing that you should be focusing on is completing that Unit 1 assessment. Now, as you're creating your Unit 1 assessment, I did ask you to complete a survey. Okay, this survey was due last night at midnight, and it covered a couple of things. The first thing it covered was making sure that I knew how you were planning on presenting your information, as well as the lens of history that you selected. Okay, both of these pieces of information are extremely important, just as we kind of track our data together and we track our growth together. So, please understand too that your survey is anonymous, okay? In saying this, this gives me information about how I need to improve the course and how many people are doing a paper versus a podcast, all of those kinds of things. But there were a couple of you guys that said, hey, Ms. Ham, I need some support on this. Can you meet with me one-on-one? Please understand that if you said that, I see that you need help, but I need for you to take the initiative to shoot me an email and just say, hey, can you clarify this for me so that we can make sure that we're on the same page together, okay? So again, please, if you need that one-on-one support, please reach out to me via email. You can text me, you can call me, whatever needs to happen so that I can make sure that I've clarified those things for you, okay? The second part of the survey is really a reflection about your time so far in this class, looking at the work that we've done through Unit 1. So you're going to notice that every so often I am going to ask you for your feedback. The reason that I'm asking for your feedback is because this course is designed specifically for you. And so if it's not working for you, I need to know. If it is working for you, I need to know. Okay, and so your feedback is going to drive what we continue to do and modifications that are made as we continue to move forward. Okay, as a result of your feedback through this survey reflection, a couple of upcoming videos that will be coming over the weekend and into the beginning of next week is looking at our discussion boards and clarifying the prompts that are provided. A couple of pieces of feedback were that maybe the discussion board prompts were too wordy, a little bit unclear about what we were specifically working towards, what learning goal. And so I'm going to work on fine-tuning those and then making a video for you to review that next week. In addition, a couple of you talked about the amount of reading and wanted to know if there were any additional tools for you or tips to make sure that you are getting what you need to get without being overwhelmed by the length of the text, okay? And so I'm also going to be making for you an ebook tools and key tips video talking about the tools specifically provided by W.W. Norton, looking at the Give Me Liberty and Voices of Freedom textbooks. So again, be looking for that next week based on the feedback that you provided, okay? A couple of things that I want to highlight for you, specifically looking at the reflection of learning, is you guys have done a really, really good job. I've really enjoyed looking at the various topics that you guys have selected to focus on each week. You guys have done a really great job at looking at the ideas of conflict and compromise and how those events have really impacted the development of modern American society. I've seen some really deep connections to the work that we're doing in class and the experiences that are happening in real time today. A couple of things that I've noticed that we might have struggled with a little bit is the lens of history. Okay, so when I'm asking you to focus on the lens of history, what I'm looking for is what you might see. So for example, if I take my phone, right, and I put a lens on it, okay, and I say that the color of my lens is red, okay, anything that I look from my lens out, okay, what I'm going to see is the color red, right? So everything that I look at is going to be tinted with the color red. What I'm asking you to do within the lens of history is I'm asking you to put that lens on your brain and on your thinking, right? So when I open up chapter 1, okay, say that my lens is cultural, what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I am using that lens to be able to see the cultural aspects of American development within chapter 1 and chapter 2, okay? And so, excuse my dogs, this is the beauty of working from home. And so in saying that, make sure that each of you are articulating each week about which lens you are focusing on. Okay, we're kind of getting to the point now where I'm going to allow you to choose which lens you want to focus on as you continue to build up into your unit assessments. All right. Speaking of assessments, I do want to clarify a couple of expectations for your assessments coming up this week. Okay, and so I just want to make sure that you are aware, number one, of the driving question. So the question that you will be focusing on during this entire unit assessment reads, how have conflict and compromise contributed to the development of political, socioeconomic, or cultural aspects of American society? Now, this is unique because of this or. You get to decide, based on your study of chapters 1 through 4, which lens you are most connected to. So when you looked at chapters 1 through 4, what did you see that changed the most? Was it culture? Was it politics? Or was it socioeconomics? Okay, you get to choose, again, which lens you would like to look at. Okay, as you are articulating your lens, you're then going to want to use primary sources as well as sources from the textbook to support your understanding and your advocacy of why this lens has changed through examples of conflict and compromise. Okay? As you are looking at how you are designing this, please remember that you have 3 choices. Okay? I don't expect you to always write me a paper. I don't expect you to always create me a podcast, okay? You get to decide each time we do a unit assessment what fits you best. So if you're a writer, great, write me a paper. If you're a talker, great, do me a podcast. If you're a visual thinker, if you're a visual designer, create a presentation that really talks about what you've learned, okay? So you get to choose how you want to represent your learning, okay? Remember that this presentation is embedded in your week 4 materials, so you will want to make sure that you go through and you review what are the expectations for each of these. Okay, this slide is going to talk a little bit more about the lens of history. Okay, again, making sure that you're very specific about what you are seeing out of that lens, specifically looking at the area of development within American history. Okay. And something, again, that I want just to reiterate to you, I know I've said it once, and if I've said it once, I'm going to say it 1,000 more times. This course is designed for you, okay? I have purposefully put these pieces together as a recent college graduate to make sure that all of the work that you are doing builds upon itself for you to showcase your understanding, okay? In saying that, I want you to make sure that you are working smarter, not harder. Don't assume that you have to redesign everything for these unit assessments. Essentially, what you should be able to do is take your discussion board post, pull out some primary sources from Voices of Freedom, highlight a couple of things within your textbook, and then use that evidence to support your perspective and understanding of American history. Okay? I know that this is a lot. I know that there are definitely some questions that you have. Please, please, please reach out to me so that I can answer those questions for you. The struggle with online learning is often the disconnect of the screen, okay? It is up to you and it is up to me to work past the barriers of the screen and connect with the human that is behind the screen. Please, please, please reach out. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. I'm looking forward to growing with you, and I'm looking forward to supporting you throughout this process. I'm really proud of you, and I'm really thankful to be your lead learner as we take this journey of American history together. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.